So let's talk about this. Ooh, you like the arm movements? So let's talk about this comic book market. Let's talk a little bit about how it's affecting me and my collection style and kind of what my reaction's been to it. So hit the like button while the intro plays and let's talk about it. So a week or two ago, Dustin did a video, kind of his reaction to the comic book market, what's happening, what's going on, how it's really affecting his comic book style. And I thought, well, you know what, I'll sit down, I'll talk about kind of what I've been doing here a little bit and kind of what my response has been to this whole thing. I know if you're a seller, you're living it up good. If you're buying and trying to collect new grails, sorry, brother, it's rough times right now. So for me, I've taken a huge step back in buying books. Now, I'm still buying the new Comic Book Day books, but I'm not going out and buying and hunting and trying to find keys or add to my collection for a couple of different reasons. One, prices have doubled, tripled, quadrupled. You know, I am one of those believers in the fact we're going to have a correction come at some point. I think the big boys, they're going to stay strong. These minor, everything's not a key, but these minor books, I think we're going to see a real correction there. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of just sitting back, but I'll be honest, I'm selling a lot of stuff too. Reason being is, we're looking at, kind of buying the new house, and I have a lot of books, and kind of similar to, I guess, what Jim Mint's done, offloading a bunch of stuff to try to meet those goals. That's where I'm at, right? I do have a lot of value built up in those boxes. Right now, they're kind of at a peak, not necessarily the greatest peak of all time, but it's hitting pretty high. So I'm offloading some books, selling some stuff to try to put myself in a better situation for that house. And this month has done very well doing so. I will say within just a couple of weeks, really, without selling off any major keys, just a bunch of minor stuff, minor books, I'm somewhere plus $3,000. And I've taken and putting it towards that goal of buying that bigger house. And a lot of those books are books that, $20 then, now maybe they're 100, maybe they're 150 going for consistently. So what I've been doing is basically just posting them up and just seeing what happens on the bids. I put them at basically a lower price than most of the market sales, starting them off, and if they sell, great. If not, they just kind of sit there, and it's no different than them sitting on eBay. And I'm using eBay just because it's simple, it's easy. I hate the 10% fees, but it is what it is. But those can just sit up on the eBay listings, and if they sell, great. If not, they automatically relist, just as sitting there in the pull box or in my short boxes. So that's kind of been my reaction to it. Pull back on the big boy. I don't even want to say the big boy buying, but even hunting for the $10, $15, $20 books. Those are now $40, $50, $60 books, and I'm just stepping back, waiting for that correction. But this year, I've been doing a ton of reading. I've been going back, reading a lot of old Marvel storylines, major storylines. I've been reading some DC stuff. I read all of the new 52 stuff. I'm, up to about issue 60 on Spawn. I read all of Invincible. I'm just enjoying the stories right now when it comes to comic books. I know a lot of folks, they're, 100% about collecting. That's fine. But I found myself so worried about collecting and buying and trying not to miss out that, have I actually even read anything about that? I have 4 copies of Spawn #1 that I've just picked up throughout the years. Just, hey, I've seen it on the wall for $15. Sure, I'll grab it. Never actually read it. So I started reading the entire story. I heard all these wonderful things about Invincible. You know what? Let's read it. I read about 60 issues of Fables and just couldn't keep going. It just didn't drag me along enough. And I found myself just not interested in picking up and reading anymore. But that's what I'm doing. So that's really been kind of nice, right? Kind of a great change of pace. Hey, it's helping me reach kind of my goals and helping me put my family into a bigger house for this summer. but also it's given me a chance to go back and really focus on just reading the stories, right? There's so many amazing stories in comic books, and I found myself getting caught up more in collecting versus enjoying the medium. And there's nothing wrong with strictly collecting. I know there's a lot of people that collect comic books and have never actually read one, and that's fine. And I'm still buying the new Comic Book Day book, still buying the hardcovers, and I'm just enjoying it now, I think, more than ever. You know, even though it's frustrating going into stores and shops and you see, and even different marketplaces within the industry, and you see a book that once was $15 or, you know, a book that I really wanted, just never pulled the trigger on because I'm like, man, it'll always be $15. And now it's just a $100 book, $150 book. And I'm like, you know what? I'll wait, because if it does correct, great. If not, it is what it is. I'll buy it at some point, I guess, if I really want it. So let me know how this market has been affecting you guys. Because for me, it's been fun, right? It's been different, but I've really enjoyed reading more stories. And I encourage you guys to do that. If you're a little down on collecting right now because of prices, go pick up some trades, some hardcovers. Go read what you got in your short boxes. If you're one of those folks that doesn't want to read some of those you're collecting, go get you an iPad or a Kindle and read Marvel Unlimited. Use the DC app. Use Comixology. I know there's a lot of people against that digital, but man, it is such a wonderful way to read some of these great stories that you're not gonna even buy or maybe even be able to afford. Or if you do own it, you're not going to rip it open and start flipping through. I mean, Amazing Fantasy 15, did you guys know it had 4 separate stories in it? A lot of people don't. So, you know, it's been fun, and I really have enjoyed it. So let me know, guys, what you think, and kind of how has your story been with comic book collecting within the last 6 months, really, with this booming comic book market. So, but anyways, guys, you're the best part of Two Brothers Comics, and as always, collect your way.